Hi, my name is Beth Hudson and welcome to the Single Mom Show, brought to you by Insight, a single mom support group. Thank you for joining us as we're inspiring, empowering, and celebrating you. Today our guest is Thompson Scarlett, a psychotherapist. Welcome and thank you for being here, Thompson.
Thank you.
Thompson volunteers for Insight and has worked quite closely with a lot of our single moms, and we appreciate his help and his volunteer time. He's here to talk to us today about anxiety and stress, which is a huge, huge issue for single moms. I know as a single mom, and with all the single moms in our group, I hear constantly I see it. They're overwhelmed. They have tons of anxiety. They have tons of stress. I mean, stress is a daily existence, almost part of our lives that we try to deal with, and it's really, really hard to deal with all that stress and still try to do everything you're trying to do in your day. Keep your job, raise your children, and juggle 2 jobs in one and everything else. So what do you say, Thompson, when you're working with clients and single moms out there as maybe strategies or ways to cope, or what would your suggestions and guidance be for single moms that are struggling with anxiety and stress in their life?
Well, I think the first thing that I'd like to see is really having awareness and so forth. And the one thing about stress is just another form of anxiety that a person has. Mm-hmm. And so when people are stressed, a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, they don't know they have that stress, and they carry around with them for so many days and sometimes weeks and even months and whatnot. Mm-hmm. It actually becomes the norm. Mm-hmm. So if you actually ask 9 out of 10 people if they are stressed, a lot of times you're going to say, no, I'm not stressed, I'm fine, because they're just not aware of their behaviors or the actual mind-body connection or whatnot. Mm-hmm. So it's really just making people aware that they are stressed, and whether it's any sweating they may have or whether it's any type of tension and so forth. Mm-hmm. And the thing is that single mothers very much have a lot of different images to fulfill and so forth. They have to be the career woman. They have to make sure that the house is clean. They have to make sure that they're the great mother and so forth. So they carry a lot of responsibilities, and they do carry a lot of roles. So really what I'm really saying to single mothers who actually have a lot of anxiety and stress is such strategies as really being able to learn how to say no. You're only one person. Okay. Being able to really just take on what you feel you can take on, okay? A lot of single mothers are under the impression that they have to be perfectionists at everything that they do and whatnot. And so it's really being able to say, just, you don't have to be doing everything perfect every single minute, all of the time.
Somebody else does, but
on every aspect
feel like we
life.
have to, so that we're trying to be good enough, right?
That's right.
Keep up with the Jones and be good as everyone else and be as great parents as everyone else, even though there's 2 of them and we're one of us.
Absolutely. If there's dirty dishes in the sink, the dirty dishes can wait till the weekend. So if there's vacuuming that needs to be done or whatnot,
like that.
Sometimes you just really need to really be able to prioritize and so forth. Another strategy I always like telling single mothers too is really being able to avoid any hot topics and so forth. So if there are any type of social situation and any type of controversial or political topics come up that may take a lot of energy and effort within them that they may need for the end of the day, then it might be good to maybe just be picking and choosing your battles and really being able to just really avoid those conversations or discussions if necessary. Be polite, but just remove yourself really from that environment, because sometimes it's just really not necessarily worth it to get into a person who has a difference of opinion that you may have. And
that could be family, that could be ex-husbands, it could be, sometimes those are the situations that tend to add more stress to our lives than just so the average person on the street you run into, or
Absolutely. So these are the things you definitely want to identify. Another thing is you want to be able to control your environment. So a lot of single mothers, they'll say, when I get home, there's so many things that stress me out. If I turn on the TV and so forth, it's 6 o'clock news or whatnot. Well, then don't watch the news. Not to say that you're cold or you're critical or whatnot, or you're uncaring in person, but it may not be a priority right now. Right now, you may have to prioritize, this is what I have to take care of, is with what's in the home and so forth. So these are little strategies, just really being able to take control and so forth, and just remembering you're only one person. And then really beyond that is really being able to really take care of some self-care strategies and so forth. Making sure that you have a certain amount of exercise within your life, making sure that you're eating healthy. But at the same time, I'm a little bit cautious when it comes to those things, because the thing is, when I say eating healthy, I don't want to turn people into a dietitian. When I'm saying exercise, I don't want people to turn into a fitness instructor. Right. So I want people to be able to implement the appropriate amount of self-care that's user-friendly within their lifestyle, so to speak.
And that works for them.
Yeah, and then a couple other things is massages, or a long bath or whatnot. Even an extra 3 minutes in the shower in the morning can really help as well.
Okay, so taking some time for you and having some balance. And removing yourself from situations or try to avoid situations are going to stress you out.
That's right.
And what about sleep? If people sometimes might wake up in the night and they have trouble breathing, or they have panic attacks or stress and anxiety like that in their sleep.
That can be very common and so forth,
Mm-hmm.
and they usually have trouble getting back to the day and so forth. So usually when it comes to anything like that, I always say try to get at some type of journal or log and so forth. Have it right by the bed and so forth. So if it turns out they have to map out their day or map out the day the night before and so forth, it gets them an idea of really what it looks like, get them to break down their day.
Mm-hmm.
The more information we actually have about the next day, which might be stressful, we'll be able to give our mind more at ease and more peace and so forth, the more information we provide.
So it's almost like you know it's under control now because you've written it down. This is what I'm going to do tomorrow, and I'll
Exactly.
deal with it. So right now I can forget about it and
Absolutely.
shut it off, right?
Yep.
And shutting it off is a big thing. It's a hard.
It's
big
a hard thing, but it's something you got to keep at
right.
doing it.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Thank you, Thompson, for your tips
Thank
and
you.
strategies. I appreciate that. Thank you for joining us. If you would like to see more episodes of The Single Mom Show, check out our website at www.thesinglemomshow.com. It's been brought to you by Insight, a single mom support group. Remember, you are strong, you are beautiful, you are capable, and you are worthy. So take time for you, embrace the good, love yourself, and reach for the stars. Thank you for watching. I'm Beth Hudson, and we hope to see you next time on The Single Mom Show.